Hi there guys, welcome to today's video. I'd just like to briefly say that if you do enjoy today's content, if you could please consider leaving a like and a comment, as well as hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. That'd be hugely appreciated, as it helps us out an absolute ton. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Fight Queen to stay up to date with all the latest channel news, as well as follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Fight Queen. We are live Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 PM to 9 PM GMT, and again from 11 PM to 2 AM GMT. So with that out of the way being said, let's get right into the video. So first things first, I'd very quickly like to apologize for the lack of uploads over the last few days, guys. Things have been really busy. I've been resetting my stream setup and getting a new desk, arriving, new mic, new webcam, you name it. It's all been redone. Whole thing has been set up again. So yeah, it's been a struggle, but everything's all sorted now. Back to the daily uploads, back to the streaming. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the point of the video, which is Game of Thrones. So first off, the time jumps. We'll have to quickly address that. The time jumps in this season are becoming egregious. We've gone from, say, season 3 to season 4, where you had 8 to 10 episodes to get a character from Winterfell to King's Landing and vice versa. Now we have literally a scene transition. It's literally we fade to black from Winterfell, and then we're in King's Landing, just like that. Like the click of a finger. It presents so many continuity issues with the earlier seasons as to why it's suddenly, what are we doing? Are we jumping ahead months and months and months in a very quick scene transition? Or has technology suddenly took leaps and bounds and the boats of Game of Thrones can travel thousands and thousands of miles per hour at once? Like, which one is it? Because it's only one or the other. You're either skipping huge chunks of time in the show, or you're foregoing every bit of logic and claiming that they are just travelling back and forth like it's nothing. Despite the fact that you've proven in earlier seasons that it takes months and months and months to get from Winterfell to King's Landing. It's just a huge continuity issue. And either way you look at it, it presents nothing but plot holes, issues and problems with continuity. So yeah, big issue, big issue for me is the time jumps. I'm just hugely disappointed, to be honest, but let's not stress on everything too much. I don't want to make this video too long, so let's get right into the next point, which is the celebrations. Are they doing a Robert Baratheon? Are things being celebrated a little bit too early? I don't quite know. I don't know what to think about that. Just the fact that they're all celebrating, they're all getting drunk off their faces right before going into the huge battle with Cersei. I don't know. It just reminded me a lot of Robert Baratheon. I don't feel they're going to go the Baratheon route, but it just reminded me a lot of that. So I just wanted to, briefly address how alike that particular scene was. Onto some more complimentary points for this episode. The Bronn scene was phenomenal. It was incredible. It was so well acted. All three gentlemen did superb. If you guys don't know which scene I'm referring to the scene when Tyrion and Jaime were sitting down on their own, having a conversation in a room together, and then Bronn entered in with his crossbow, sat down with them, proceeded to make his point. And it was so tense. I was literally on the edge of my seat for the entirety of that scene. From my predictions, I felt fairly safe that both characters were going to survive. Tyrion in particular, I knew was going to survive. But I wasn't so sure about Jaime. I really wasn't. For me, there was a slight chance that Jaime was going to die in that scene. And Tyrion was going to be the last brother. So, yeah, I was definitely tense. I thought it was very well acted. I thought all three gentlemen played their parts superbly. And, yeah, nothing but props for that scene. Also, the Tyrion and Varys scene was, again, superbly well acted, superbly well shot as well. I think the cinematography for both of these scenes was very well done. I think Tyrion's actor is just flawless. He is so good. The name of him does leave me right now, unfortunately. I really hate it when I can't remember actors' names. But Tyrion Lannister, is an amazing character and his actor is flawless. In both scenes, he played off against his fellow actors gorgeously. The Varys scene in particular, when they were talking about the potential treason against Daenerys, I thought it was a wonderful scene. Very, very well done. That brings me on to my next point about Daenerys. Is she a tyrant now, guys? I think she is. Personally. I don't know about you guys, but I do. I think that she is... she's gone past the point of a queen that wants to help anyone. I mean, she's literally saying that if she has to burn everyone to death in King's Landing, it's Cersei's fault, not hers. What? That is full-on tyrant talk there, guys. Full-on tyrant talk. No two ways about it. Only a tyrant kills innocents and blames their fellow opponent for it. Only a tyrant. That is a complete and utter dictator tyrant move. So she's full-on becoming a tyrant, which will lead me on to my predictions for this episode. But I briefly want to talk about a couple more things that happened before I get onto the predictions. So we'll move on. Cersei. Does she know that the game is over, guys? I think she kind of does. I kind of think she does. Because the way that Tyrion pleaded his case with her, and she almost looked as if she was going to take it at one point. She really did almost look as if she bought what Tyrion was selling about the love for her children and how she's always been a mother. She's always been a good mother. A horrible human being, but a good mother. And yes, it was complete and utter bullshit. She's been a terrible mother, but it was Tyrion's final ploy to try and keep his sister alive, to try and not see his sister get burnt alive or face the more predictable outcome. But we'll get onto that anyway. Yeah, I just think she's too far gone. The fact that she almost took it hook, line and sinker, but then backed out at the last second and just lopped the head off of Melisandre like it was nothing. That tells me she's too far gone. She does not care for her newborn or soon to be newborn child anymore. She doesn't care for anything. She just wants to see this through. Whether it means she dies or not, she just wants to see it through. Get to the end of the Game of Thrones, so to speak. She wants to play her final cards, whatever they may be. And if she goes down with the sinking ship, then she goes down with the sinking ship. I genuinely think that's her attitude at this point. But you guys, please let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these points so far. But in particular, what do you guys think about Cersei? Does she know it's game over? And is she just willing to accept the defeat when it comes? Or does she have something else up her sleeve that none of us are predicting quite yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, on to the next point. Jon Snow. I'm a little confused as to what his motives were in telling his sisters his true identity. It's a little bit confusing to me. I don't know whether it was him testing the waters of his sisters, seeing what their reactions will be, seeing whether they're going to now take this information and use it to kind of build a rift between Daenerys and Jon, or what. But personally, I'm a little more inclined to think that maybe he's leaning towards wanting the throne. And maybe he is slowly but surely realizing that Daenerys is a tyrant, and that the only true way to get out of this whole situation is to bring forth the prophecy, is to kill his one true love, bring forth Lightbringer, become Azor Ahai, the one true ruler of the Seven Kingdoms, and ascend the throne. I genuinely think that's what he's leaning towards. Who knows for sure? I'd really love to hear your guys' thoughts on this point, because I think this point, even more than the last one, is super interesting as to what his motives truly are and what he really wants out of this whole situation. But yeah, please, guys, do comment below. Let's move on to the next one. Before I get on to the predictions, I just want to briefly mention one last issue that I had with this episode. because I saw it immediately as soon as Jon Snow denied riding the dragon. I knew immediately Dragonrend was going to appear this episode, and that dragon was going to die. There was no two ways about it. Otherwise, Jon would have rode the dragon with Daenerys into battle. There was no reason not to. And the half-assed reason that I believe they gave in the show was something like, Jon very, very quickly, in less than 10 seconds, addresses to someone, "Oh, I'd rather ride with the troops than ride up in the sky." And then they do the typical thing where immediately someone will interject with a different subject. Switch your focus onto that as a viewer and get you to not think about what Jon just said too hard and too carefully. Otherwise, you'll see the multiple plot holes in it and you'll realise what's going to happen. The show's done it multiple times. I don't want to go into this point too much. I want to keep this episode a bit more light-hearted and a bit more upbeat than the last one, because the last one I felt was just such a, just me bashing Game of Thrones for 20 minutes. So I want to keep it a little bit lighter, a little bit more prediction heavy. So yeah, points done on the dragons. I just saw it coming from a mile off. As for the next one, on to the predictions, guys. On to the predictions for the final 2 episodes. First off, I think we'll go with Jaime. I think we'll give my predictions on his character first. I believe he's going to kill Cersei. I believe he intentionally fed Brienne the bullshit of, pardon my French, guys, but it was exactly that. Bullshit of loving Cersei still and wanting to go and be with her one final time, simply because he, in reality, loves Brienne. And he doesn't want Brienne to do what we all knew, or what we all know Brienne would have done if she knew what he's really going to do, which is she would have followed him. She would have followed him into this final battle. But he didn't want that, because he knows this is a one-way trip. He knows he's going to die at the end of this trip. And A, he doesn't want her to see that. And B, he doesn't want her to potentially die along with him. He would much rather she survive. So he feeds her the rubbish about wanting to be by Cersei's side and protect her and blah, blah, blah. Because in my opinion, his plan is to go and kill her. And I think the way it's going to play out is he's going to arrive, walk into the throne room. Cersei's going to be there sitting on the throne. And Bronn will be standing next to her with his crossbow, ready to defend her with his life. A battle will ensue. Jaime and Bronn will go back and forth, back and forth. Jaime will finally get the upper hand, kill Bronn, but Bronn will do his little, sneaky stuff that he always is doing at the last second, and right before he succumbs to death, he'll pull out a little blade or something like that out of nowhere, nick Jaime with it. It's somewhere vital, and Jaime will begin to bleed out. And the both of them will be on death's door, and it'll be at that point that Cersei will maybe come over to their dead bodies or stay on the throne and be a cold, heartless biatch. And one of two things will happen. Either Jaime will die right in front of Cersei, along with Bronn, and Cersei will realise just how much life is done for her, just how much the Game of Thrones is over for her, basically. Or Jaime will, with his final last dying breath, kill Cersei. And I'm kind of leaning 60% towards the latter. I do feel that Jaime is going to be the one to kill Cersei, because I think that's what the show has always been leaning towards. It's what the overarching storyline for those two characters has always been from day one. They have always been star-crossed, doomed to fail lovers, Kind of a bit like Romeo and Juliet. They were never meant to be. So putting them together will only ever result in tragedy. And I believe that's the story being told with Jaime and Cersei. So forgive me if I'm wrong, guys, and please do let me know what your predictions are in the comments. But that's my predictions for Jaime. I believe that's the overarching storyline there, and he's going to end up killing Cersei. On to the next prediction. I'll try to make the last few predictions a bit shorter, because this episode is running a bit long already. I guess we will move on to Daenerys. I believe Daenerys is going to end up dying at the hands of Jon Snow, as I mentioned earlier. But I believe prior to that, she will end the man from the Iron Islands with Dragonrend. I forget his name now. But I believe they will go to battle again, and she will defeat him. And then it will be up to Jon Snow to defeat her, to be honest. On to the Hound and Arya for my final prediction. I believe the Hound and Arya are off to kill the Mountain. And I believe it will play out with the Mountain and the Hound having a huge battle. A big, back and forth between one another. Lots of ins and outs, and the Hound looking like he's about to win, then the Mountain looking like he's about to win, and vice versa, until eventually, I believe the Mountain will get the final upper hand, either flat out kill the Hound, or be just about to kill the Hound, and then Arya will come swooping in and finish the job, kill the Mountain, and then she will, spend a few moments with the Hound as he breathes his final breath. I believe that's my prediction for Arya and the Hound. Quite a few people are predicting that Arya is going to kill Cersei, but I just don't see that happening. Now that she's already killed the Night King, I think it would be so super predictable and super lazy writing to have her just straight up kill the next big bad guy as well. So, yeah, I can't see that happening myself, but who knows? I could be wrong. Please do let me know in the comments below what you guys think on both my predictions as a whole, and also give me your predictions. Give me your thoughts on the episode, your thoughts on what you think will happen in the next 2 episodes. And yeah, just anything and everything. I'd love to hear from all of you guys. And yeah, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't really have much else to say on the episode or on the last 2 episodes as a whole. It really is just kind of a case of wait and see at this point, I think. So yeah, I'd also really love to hear your guys' thoughts on a couple of characters that I haven't given predictions for, purposefully, because I want to see what happens in the next episode before I make my predictions on these characters. So Tyrion, for instance, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what's going to happen in that. Sansa Stark. I briefly forgot her name. Apologies, guys. Sansa Stark. I'd also love to hear your guys' thoughts on exactly what's going to happen with her, where her storyline is going to end up, and what her final overarching outcome is going to be. And yeah, any other characters, any of them at all. Brienne, for instance. Podrick. Sam Tarly. You name it. Is Sam Tarly even going to feature in the last 2 episodes, guys? Who knows? I don't think he will. But it remains to be seen. And yeah, with all that being said, guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, it would be so superbly appreciated if you did leave that like and comment and hit that subscribe button, as well as click that notification bell. Literally, it means so much to me. I love you guys ever so much for the continued support, and for every last view, every last like, every last comment, every last anything and everything. And if you guys do want to stay up to date, even more than just the daily YouTube uploads, which are continuing from today now that the break is over, you guys can follow me on Twitter at The Fight Queen, or you can even catch me live on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then again 11 p.m. to roughly 2 a.m. GMT. So once again, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Ta-ta!